Үлкен істер әр қадамы жаңа жетістікке жетелейтін марафон. Біз осы жолды сіздермен бірге 10 жылдан бері жүріп келеміз. Тимур Құлыбаевтың халық қайырымдылық қоры.
Центр кредит банкымен сіз қарапайым және заманауи шешімдердің ортасындасыз. Нық сеніммен жаңа мүмкіндіктер ашып, тексерілген сапаға сеніңіз. BCC KZ мүмкіндіктерді кеңейтіңіз.
Good morning from Kazakhstan, everybody. We are back at the Games of the Future 2026 Astana. Welcome back to our futuristic city. We cannot be more excited this morning. Good morning once again. My name is Cholpan and I'm here with my colleague David, who is visiting Kazakhstan for his very first time. David, how are you this morning?
I'm so good. It's wonderful to be back in the studio and, of course, to be a guest in your beautiful country. Thank you so much for your warmth, your hospitality, which I think I have certainly felt 100%, but also I think every team, every individual team player and everyone involved with this year's Phygital Games of the Future Astana 2026 has been made to feel right at home.
Indeed, David. Over 800 athletes from over 50 countries have chosen to come here to Kazakhstan and enjoy and partake in our wonderful tournament. Now, yesterday we had quite an exciting day. We had our first final and our first award ceremony of the tournament, which was Battle Royale PUBG.
What a few days it has been. It's been super intense over the last couple of days and culminating with that final and, of course, 17 Gaming. Wow.
Taking their $1 million home. But the excitement is just beginning because today we have the Dota 2 continuing with only 8 teams standing. Today we are in the quarterfinals. So the pressure is really on to our Dota teams. And we still have one of our homegrown teams in the competition.
Yeah, we'll also be heading out to Phygital Basketball later on today. That's going to be super exciting.
Doing some absolutely freaking amazing vacuums.
Right.
It was like 4 or 5 people. But Cataclysm getting just a little bit too late, maybe. Gleipnir not getting there in time. Or maybe Hoodwink should be the one follow the... But it just never... And they didn't get to the where they had an overwhelming advantage, enough of an advantage to go high ground. They didn't have enough damage. I feel like that's the biggest problem, because you have Wade the Wyvern, even though she went for power threats for some reason, we discussed it as well. I don't know why she went power threats, but maybe they understood they are lacking damage and she wanted to stack Arctic Burn a little bit more. And this is an amazing moment, of course, with the Rampage. But you know what? I do believe we have to say thank you to the Creation just for staying in the game. They could have called GG a while ago at this moment. They just wanted to give the crowd the moment, the Rampage, so that Japs, you know, he gets the emotions. Somebody tries to go on the slings. There is a Fisher that counter-initiates, that stops them in their tracks. This was an amazing save, actually. But look at this
combo is actually insane.
On the other hand, we have Team Vitality out in 10th place, which was a really big shock going into this, because they played really good last time on Erangel when they did play it for the past 3 times. So this was a bit of a show tactics in some way, making it really hard for them to progress.
Indeed, and when we got to the top 3, we had Geeka with 2 players. Diga Esports actually made it to the top 3, and I mean, really hoping them to get there at the top, but there was 1 player left at the end. And finally, Twisted Minds actually took out the only one that was left from Diga Esports. So we got some fans coming up there, right there for James. And the game actually started really cool, and early on, we lost Falcons around
very early on.
5-minute mark. So that was a good position for Vitality to be in. At the compound and was slightly as well. They were standing up the teams fight that really quickly, I should say, from 4 to come out. And we saw Gam just walk away with that chicken dinner.
Nowhere. You can just literally go inside of the tombstone whenever you want, and it's just that save is actually incredible. Look at this, like
I mean, the first death is basically Emo just soloing TB.
Yeah.
Second death is Lina melting TB.
I want to call out the Dalul here. He was a little bit greedy. He had 17 seconds. He had money for buyback. He didn't press the buyback instantly. He had to press the buyback instantly right here and there. That's where he could have saved, but that's a could have saved. Yes. They're playing here for $1 million. If they would like to do better, just like Yakuto brothers, they were losing 1-0. They came second game, and that's the case.
It's easy.
Yeah, and I mean, I'd like to also mention the Tai Long. I was saying earlier, Tai Long had you, right?
Yeah.
And have you guys seen Puddle Mid with the upgraded stick, the Holy Locket?
The Holy Locket?
Yeah. I'm sure the answer is no, because nobody buys that.
Probably just worried, trying to salvage what was happening throughout this match. This play is actually pretty decent because they see Sven rotating towards the Wisdom Shrine, and they use this time to kill Kotal. Mirana was standing there on the shrine using the arrow to kill Kotal, so they get at least something. But after that, like, it was LGD, LGD, LGD all the way.
Just, yeah, phenomenal performance from the LGD squad.
This is the only moment where it kind of looks scary, right? Because Sven got isolated by the bear. There was a second bear resummoned. That's the first one, I believe. And that was probably the only possible moment where there was a potential comeback. But they did manage to get Sven out. And that's what allowed them to still stay on the horse.
Yeah, for sure. And I just like the South American pressure here. Like, they're going non-stop here and there. You just see constant pressure. This is the moment of true Dota.
Wow, what an exciting day of play we had yesterday, and there is still more to come as we whittle down and get ever closer to finding out who will be taking their fair share of that all-important $1 million.
Yes, we had one of the teams take it already at PUBG yesterday, but there is one thing I want to mention. If you also noticed in those highlights, Jabs taking that ultra kill, something phenomenal at this stage of the competition and at this stage of an international level.
Absolutely. I think Jabs was known for that rampage that took us all by surprise, but with such thrill and excitement. I must say, Shulpan, I do like saying $1 million. It sounds really big, and it is. It's not small money, this. The pressure is intense. We're not talking about a small prize pool here.
We're absolutely not talking about a small prize pool, because the amount of training and professionalism that goes into these athletes' preparation for such tournaments, well, I would say it deserves even more.
Absolutely, and we're referring to all of our teams as, because the amount of Cholpan alluded to, over 8 hours per day in many cases, clocking up over 20, 30 plus hours of gaming. That's quite intense, but that is the level at which you need to play at which you need to prepare yourself when you move in this arena. The Phygital Games of the Future 2026 is not for the faint-hearted, let me tell you. We've had our fair share of all the thrills, and as you can see there, pure joy, pure elation, Shulpan. I mean, just look at them.
They look so excited. Look at those four having that
lifting their feet, and we love a good firework display. I mean, that stage in itself incredible. 17 gaming with 131, followed by Gam the Expendables at 120.
And the third place taken by Team Vitality with 106 points. Once again, a round of congratulations to our winners, 17 Gaming.
Yeah, not too much of a break between spots 3 and 4, literally 1 point. And then suddenly we start seeing more of a gap between the scores after that. Alrighty, so this is where we're currently standing. The group stages of Dota. MOBA PC presented by Center Credit on your screens now.
Dear viewers, please make note that today we are in the quarterfinals of Dota 2. So today is where the competition really gets interesting, because we're moving on to the semifinals and then finally to the finals to see which Dota team will make it through all of these stages of elimination to take their prize.
And as we look at our schedule for Phygital Basketball presented by Halleck Fund, today we see what you can look forward to as we contest this year's final round, getting ever closer to that prize pool of $4,000.
So we have our final in Phygital Basketball, Wilders and Liga Pro coming up shortly.
So now, as we have a beautiful aerial shot once again of the magnificent digital world created here of the city of the future of Astana, we're going to see another schedule pop up on screen very, very shortly. Today feels like we're in it again for the home stretch as we get ever closer to that final game within the Dota map. You can see here, coming up over the course of the next few days, Battle Royale. There we saw winner 17 Gaming hoisting up that trophy. Basketball coming to a close, presented by Halleck Fund, Phygital Basketball.
Dota PC going on until the 5th of August. And Phygital Football coming up tomorrow, followed by
Phygital Shooter, which will take us through to August the 8th. Presented by Samruk Kazna. MOBA Mobile, presented by Freedom from the 4th to the 9th.
And we have Phygital Dancing on the 6th and the 7th of August, and finishing up our tournament with Phygital Fighting on the 8th and the 9th of August.
So still lots more to look forward to today. You'll see it looks pretty thin, but quite intense as we come to the end of MOBA PC, ever closer, presented by Center Credit, and of Basketball, that's the big presented by Fund. And it is so important, Chopin, to mention that these games and anything of this scale would be incomplete and could never happen without our valued partners, our sponsors, and of course, all of you, our viewers, those watching online and in the venues. We are coming to you live and broadcasting on multi-stream from some of the most magnificent, modern, architecturally beautiful venues that you'll be able to find yourselves in Astana, the capital of Kazakhstan.
We saw one of such venues, the final PUBG, and we also look Ushkimpirov Martial Palace, which our Dota, with no small feat, as you guys could tell. Dota goes on for more than 5 days. Wow, but what a venue that Martial Arts Palace is.
Absolutely. Now, we mentioned, of course, sponsors. We could not do this without them. We'd like to remind you that the Phygital football discipline is presented by Samruk Kazna, 4th to the 9th of August.
As mentioned, with all the different news, we have all the streams shirted on OT at Plus.
As we start heading closer to who will walk away at the top, and there of $1 million. It's so exciting to be at that final stretch. And then just when you think we're going to get to it, we'll start introducing some more Phygital sports, all taking place live, all taking place now on our multi-stream, coming to you live from Astana in Kazakhstan.
And one more sponsor we would like to mention, which is really important because there are still tickets available for the upcoming disciplines. So make sure to get your tickets at www.ticketon.kz.
I would also like to remind you that Phygital Shooter is brought to you by Yandex Go. You can download the Yandex Go app and experience the thrill of the city. And it is an amazing city.
I was about to say that.
We were saying that, and we've read this before, that Kazakhstan declared 2026 as the year of digitization and artificial intelligence. And it's no small feat that this city was selected to host this year's games, because not only are they hosting, but they certainly embody the spirit and everything that it means to be all things AI and Phygital.
There is no better place to host the Games of the Future than Astana, Kazakhstan, because Kazakhstan's population is actually more than 1/3 of youth. Speaking of youth,
That was a brilliant segue. I love that. Speaking of youth, because they certainly don't look to me like these are veterans. These look like they could be my kids on that stage.
Even though Phygital Sport is a really inclusive sport, so
Very
they
much.
could include some veterans as well. As we can see in the in the Jaksylyk Ushkimpirov Arena, we have our first Dota teams entering with playtime.
And I love their logo. It's always amazing to see how the teams have come up with their identity when it comes to their logo, how they come in and how they embody. I mean, look at that. I bet 2 thumbs up. He's not taking jabs as well. Look at that. And these guys look so unassuming, but yet when they're in it to win it, they're like killers.
They look cool under that pressure. Playtime entering the stage right now because we do have Playtime playing with Glyph for our first Dota game of today. I absolutely love their logo.
Yeah.
This team is known for very aggressive tactics, yet their logo is nothing but cute.
Yeah, do not judge a book by its cover. I'm also listening to, because we can hear it in our ears as well, the voiceover artist from the arena announcing all the teams. I think he's just as excited as we all are to see who's going to now make it through. We're down to the best teams that are going to take us to the home run. So now it's down to the wire. These are now the teams that have made it thus far. It's intense, the pressure is on, there is no time to lose and to drop your guard for 1 second.
Absolutely. We see these coaches standing behind them, ladies and gentlemen. As a reminder, Dota features 5 professional athletes playing in, with some teams choosing to have stand-ins and also coaches. We see them preparing right now, setting up their computers, configuring their brains.
And the interesting thing to note is that this could easily be something that keeps us glued to our screens for the next 3 hours, because Dota 2 games can be anywhere from 15 minutes to an hour. And of course, with the teams as they currently are, we can't necessarily assume that there's one team that will outright take the first 2 games.
No.
It could go to a third.
Absolutely. We cannot assume, because they're in it to win this game now. So they're going to be putting it all in each single map. And as a reminder, by the end of today, we will only have 4 teams left, moving on to the semifinals.
Yes, and closer to that all-important prize pool package of $1 million. So it's the best of 3. Let's see how these teams fare. Once again, we want to remind you, especially if you are new to the world of Phygital, this is very much more in the spirit of the true esports, where we will not have a physical stage. If you want to know more about how the differences compare between the digital and the physical, then you've got to tune in for the basketball that will come in later, because that is marrying and showcasing what it truly means and represents the spirit of all things Phygital.
But not to say that the digital area is nuts. Their heart rate at the peak moments goes up to 180 beats per minute in those peak times. Like Jabs, for example, yesterday with that Rampage, his heart must have been, or maybe
our
his
hearts.
Our
we were watching it. Our hearts were skipping a beat.
I was about to say the same.
It's so exciting to actually see what these teams all go through. I think it's very deceptive. You think to yourself that somebody's sitting behind a console. It's all about cognitive responses, hand, eye. You forget about the fact that there is still an increase in heart rate. You forget the perspiration. You forget the nerves, the intensity, the focus, the concentration. And it is potentially in some ways just as physical, even if it deceptively so looks the complete opposite.
Indeed, David, and also the eye fatigue caused by adrenaline, which changes our vision. So can you imagine the level of focus these athletes have to continuously maintain from map to map to map?
Exactly. And as we prepare to head into our first map of the day, fun fact from our trivia queen, I'm going to ask Shulpan. For those who don't know, Dota stands for
the Defense of the Ancients. And now we are flying through the tunnel for our first game of today. Playtime versus Glyph.
Something in Spanish, he's like, wait, let me get that exact wording right. Can't be easy. But Playtime yesterday, it's like Abed, I believe it was like in game 2, they were dead to rights. Execration was gonna win that game. Sorry, no, game 3, my bad. Execration was gonna win. They were gonna win that game if it had gone normally. But Abed, 2 versus 5, walks into the fountain, does this massive combo, kills 3 people, steals the Aegis, and walks out of there like a thief in the night. It was very impressive to watch.
Yeah, the Abed Voker, I was watching that game, the Abed Voker, and of course the Earthshaker really popping off. You could see Schofield and El Misho also like having an excellent matchup. When you really need your supports to shine, they definitely did. I think that Roshan fight was the big game changer, because they had been losing every fight up until that point. and then they managed to get themselves an Aegis, and Abed just popping off with his Invoker. That truly was the game changer and got them that W in the end, knocking out Execration from the tournament. But Glyph is going to be a whole different opponent. I mean, this team went 2-0 versus Enjoy and 2-0 versus Zero Tenacity. Of course, Z10 was maybe a bit of a surprising matchup that they were going to play against, because it was the Yakult brothers who ended up losing to the so-called, I would say, lowest seeded team. The underdog of the group ended up having second seed. So for Glyph, it's been a clean run so far. Do you think they can keep that lossless streak all the way to maybe the grand finals?
I think they can. This match could go in Glyph's favor. I'm favoring them a little bit. I've actually been told by Glyph, they're like, when we go on, please do not support us because you're a jinx. And I thought that was very rude of them. So I'm going to support them extra hard today.
What do you think about Glyph and Playtime? Have they really faced each other so many times during the course of this year? Maybe one or two events, or because they don't really run into each other in qualifiers since they're in completely different regions. But I don't know, maybe Abed's been playing against some of these guys. Sanctity was also mentioned there, that he's probably not like an original member of the Glyph team. I could be completely wrong on this one.
Oh, no, you're completely right. Sanctity is new, right? Emo was part of the team, but Emo left the squad. They brought Sanctity in as a stand-in. Again, it's like a trial basis. He's not confirmed into the squad, but they needed someone because they were already invited to the tournament. So Abed and Jabs, they might have played with Jabs a little bit, right? Because Jabs was on a C team. They could have countered him. Jabs can be one of the hottest and coldest players I've seen. When we were in Paris, he would play Enigma, and he would get like an amazing black hole, absolutely phenomenal. And then he would spend the next 20 minutes not throwing out a single black hole, and it just, they lose. Or very non-factor games where he's very careful about his spell usage to the point where you're like, dude, just use it. Like, anything you throw out is better than nothing. So maybe Glyph will be like, okay, if we focus on Jabs, we make him a bit nervous, we can win the match quite easily.
Yeah, I think with Jabs, his Darkseer is something to watch out for. He's also had a pretty sick Enigma game that we had the pleasure of casting versus Team Resilience in the group stage, where basically off of his Enigma, they were able to turn the entire game around. It was Abed combined with Jabs. 2 versus 5 high ground defense. We had a 5-man black hole. Next team fight, we have a 3-man black hole. We have another 4-man black hole, and suddenly they're pushing the high ground and they're ending the game from a position where they were like 15, 20k behind in gold. It's like, this game's going to be over because they don't have anybody to return. Those are we ulti offlaners to show who they are and just go for it. And nailed that game. So honestly, if I see something like that coming out of this one, if Jabs gets his hands on an Enigma again, I'm going to be like a really, really happy fanboy at that point.
No, he certainly can have very standout performances. And there he is. There's the coach right there behind them. Do you know, I was actually talking to Totus about this, that some coaches are so paranoid about their players, they say, let me see your Discord to make sure no one's contacting you about doing anything unsavory. I'm like, damn, like that is the level of coaching that we're at. It's like, let me see your social media. I gotta make sure you ain't tweeted anything wrong right now.
It's all right. I mean, I have to say I'm really happy to see my ex-co-caster and longtime fellow Leon Arthur, all the way back from the Alliance project, and even before the Alliance project, we did a lot of deep, thorough analysis on players, on teams, on meta, and I feel like I learned a lot from him. And to see him like right there behind the players in the booth as well just makes me really happy. I think Leon Arthur is just one of the people I appreciate a lot in the Dota scene.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I mean, we made teams together, me and him. We've casted together, we've pubbed together, and I've casted his events as well. So it is very nice to see him do well, you know, whether he's on Alliance. I know he's been on other teams as well. He was on Execration, by the way. Like, he was on them, so it's nice to see him.
So I'm gonna wait for the game start. Maybe they're still checking in on some tech stuff. before we get to game number 1 rolling.
What should ask? Schofield. I feel like on playmakers is really good. Like when he plays on the Nyx Assassin, the Earthshaker, he's done a very good job on them.
All right, well, if we talk about the tournament meta as well, I mean, we have a draft coming up soon, so maybe discuss a few points about these heroes that are being played. I brought up yesterday when we were talking with John about heroes like the Pangolier, the Snapfire, and the Lina. Heroes that were super popular in EWC. Even the Lina was like 78% win rate, which I think was absolutely ridiculous, but it wasn't picked in every single game. Tells that pros, and obviously like the pro teams, they know how to build their draft that they don't walk into a Lina trap. We saw Lina being picked at the start of Games of the Future's group stage at the start, then people just ignored Lina completely, left it out. Now, yesterday in the decider matches, we got to see a couple of them, both in the mid lane and in the carry position. But Lina's win rate is only 35% from 14 picks so far. The other one I'm looking at was the Beastmaster, that is completely forgotten, 33% right now. Pango's at 25, Storm Spirit's at 28, and we actually broke a record yesterday for most healing done on a Storm Spirit. That was Emo with the Guardian Greaves build. So what's your take on the meta, and how has the hero meta transitioned from the group stage now to the quarterfinals?
Well, we're slightly still figuring out the meta, right? Because we did just have a patch come out. The patch has changed quite a bit. Draw Ranger is significantly weaker. Snapfire as well. Zeus has completely dropped off the face of the earth. So there is a little bit of figuring out of is this hero still good or not? Lina's nerfs were quite minor, if I'm not mistaken, something like -2 base agility, very small overall. So she's still pretty good. I know Glyph likes the Lina. They played both as a carry and a mid laner in this very event.
Yeah, that should be, Sanctity's got one game, that's a win. Jackie Boys also has a game on it, that's a win. See, the Yellow Submarine has played it 3 times, all of them losses. Mirage has lost on it, In Your Dreams lost twice, Bob's lost on it too. So, basically, Sanctity, Akashi, Jackie Boys, and Low are the only ones who've actually won with a hero. And then there's one game for YSR, aka Erica. So that's only 5 Lina wins, and everything else has been... That's 11 losses and 5 wins, so still very high of a win rate, despite the minor nerfs.
That'll take your MMR pretty quick if that's the 16-game average. Like, I win 5, and then how much do you lose? Well, I win 5 out of 16.
Yeah,
I see.
But I win. It's the only argument you go with. Meanwhile, Clockwork, 16 picks, 68.75% win rate. I'm trying to be very careful with these numbers here because I think the main audience is also listening to us. And John was going on an absolute 6 and insert the next number after that, Psychosis, because of you know, MLPD's voice line. Have you heard his voice line already?
I've heard because Reconix loves the voice lines.
Reconix loves it. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Glyph might be doing the same here today as well, unless they've managed to bribe them with their voice lines. So gotta be careful with that one. We'll see if they start spamming that out. But yeah, Clockwork is really high in win rate. Doom is 5-1. Luna is 4-1. And Treant has been picked 5 times, but banned 42. So that's also a pretty wild number.
I mean, in general, people really respect the Treant Protector. Really. You know, there's a lot of love for the Treant Protector. When I've seen it, oftentimes I'm like, it seems okay, but the early shield does a lot to keep anyone, any lane sustainable, basically. Teamfight is pretty good. You have to get BKB to get out of his ultimate or any sort of dispelled. It's a little surprising to see the hero that highly rated, I'll be honest with you. But so far, it's worked out. As we
still waiting for the game to start, so looks like we might have a bigger tech thing going on. Don't worry, we'll be rolling with game 1 hopefully soon. There was something. Oh yeah, we also talked a lot about Hoodwink. How Hoodwink's skill set right now is really good. It fits any draft. It works as, well, I wouldn't say a counter, but the only full physical damage dealing heroes that can't be broken, like say for example the Bristleback, have completely fallen out of the trend because now Hoodwink is being picked in almost every single game.
Yeah, and we did see, I think, a Bristleback yesterday. I'm trying to remember which match it was. Yeah, Team Resilience picked it and just really fell flat on its face. Even though there was no break on the other team, it was like a very high physical damage lineup with, you know, Clinks, for example, as the carry, I believe. But still just not feel very durable at all. So
and Z10 did it too versus LGD, and there was also they actually had the Hoodwink in their team.
Yeah, like full protection, right? And it still doesn't work very well. I think it might come down to the item build of the Bristleback. I'm not a fan of the starting Lotus Orb, first item on the hero. I feel like, sure, it's nice stats. You can like remove Spirit Vessel, things like that, but it very rarely feels like, oh yeah, he is strong.
Has something to do with magic heroes that play meta. I do feel like we're playing a magic meta above a physical damage meta.
That's very fair. A lot of the times when I'm seeing the draft, I see Winter Wyvern picked up, and that is a contributing factor, right? Because Winter Wyvern shows up, you say, okay, I'll pick a carry Necrophos, I'll pick a mid Death Prophet or Leshrac or Storm or whatever, and I'll pick an offlane Timbersaw. And suddenly, there is no real physical damage to work with. So we are very much, because of the popularity of Winter Wyvern, a lot more magic damage is being picked up as right now. I see no Lone Druid ban. Oh no.
Yep.
Oh,
We're into the draft. We're into the draft, and Lone Druid has been left open, so one of the teams might be able to pick up. But I'll quickly touch upon that tangent. If you want a full physical damage hero, if you look at how many times heroes have been picked, Shadow Fiend is the first one, and he's in 13th place. All the 12 heroes above that are magical, pure magical. He's the first actual right-clicker in there. So keep that in mind as we head over into the draft, that we're going to be seeing a lot of spellcasters, but we could get the good old Bearman here as well for either team. Who do you think would rather have it?
So far, neither of these core carries has been able to get it, but they take the Hoodwink on playtime for Schofield. Very much saying they would want. I mean, I like it. It's a very good year to have. You were talking about how strong it is, but it's bold to leave the Lone Druid. I'll say it very much on record. I think this is the strongest hero in the meta right now. Both of them ignored. Perhaps they had a gentlemanly agreement during the breakfast buffet. I won't take Lone Druid, you won't take Lone Druid, and they shake their hands on it, you know?
Yep. We didn't go on a tangent about the Hoodwink for nothing, as it ends up being the first picked hero. Hoodwink has been picked 10 times more than the next hero in this tournament. That will be the Clockwork, so.
I'm wondering where they're going to be putting this Undying. Most likely Narmer's going to take it. It's pretty damn good against the Hoodwink, you know, just because she's relatively squishy. She doesn't deal well with the Tombstone. So, yeah, just a solid opening here for Glyph. And now, playtime. Will you ban the Lone Druid?
3 out of the 4 Undyings have been supports. There's only 3 offlane Undyings that I actually see on my graph here. Would they be Meeksa's played 2 of them? So there's 1 player. Oh yeah, that should be Shang Yu should be the one who's been playing Undying as well. So those 2 players only. Everybody else has been playing it as a support. So it's kind of like an indicator that this is most likely Narman who's going to pick it up.
I love the waving, you know, it's very, very cool. But yeah, I mean, in general, it has been the hero's role for so long. He is, like, you people, you know, mastered the build. You start with a bunch of mangoes. We are seeing some, I don't want to say deviations, but some interesting evolution where they rush the shard at 15 and then buy a blink dagger and play him as a jump save. I'm not the biggest fan of it. I kind of like it when he builds more to tank, you know, a couple of bracers, try to go for Guardian Greaves and things like that. But there are options with Undying. He's not as one-dimensional as he used to be.
I have to say, Undying has actually been one of my favorite offlane heroes to play. Because you do have a couple ways to build the hero. Like, if you want to be that big, scary offlaner, you can go for the Echo Saber, the Harpoon build. it's a bit of a in Finnish Dota we refer to it as the wheelchair build because it or in general it's just the wheelchair hero because you don't need brains. I mean the hero is literally just a mindless walking sack of flesh, but you don't really need to think or overthink too much when you're playing an Undying. Just make sure that you're in range to hit them. That's all you need to do. You hit them once, you apply this nasty damage amplification that your team can then utilize. And, you know, you got a hero like Puck, so both of these could work pretty well together. I do wonder if Glyph would want to play an offlane Undying. That would require both of your supports to have some level of crowd control. But you already get vision if he is a support. Puck loves having a bit of extra information. The zombies chasing people into trees. Puck knows where to hunt them down. Playtime, maybe... Okay, I don't want to bring up the old we need a tombstone counter. I think that's like old Dota knowledge at this point. People don't really worry about the tombstone that much that it's like we need a Snapfire, we need an Ursa, we need a Lina.
Well, I mean, right at the moment, Playtime does not have a tombstone counter. That's a bit scary for them. I feel like they could pick up a Snapfire or Lina, and that will work pretty well.
Yeah, well, the Lina is banned, but the Snapfire can get behind. Even though Snap has really fallen out of team's favor. A lot of people have been... Snap's only been picked 3 times. I see it in every single pub game I play.
Well, pub meta takes a while to adapt, but I would have actually not mind the Snapfire so much on Playtime. Yesterday it wasn't picked because there was a bunch it was picked against the Knicks and you had to really play around it. But at the moment, if the Tombstone gets dropped, and I know we seem to have a little bit of different opinions on it, Playtime doesn't deal with it very well. Sure, the Nyx Assassin can go invisible, the Pango can sort of roll away or swashbuckle away to keep his distance, but still very dicey to deal with it. And Playtime also has indicated that Hoodwink is now 4, is going to go El Misho, and Schofield is going to be playing the Nyx instead. Okay. I'm going to see how that's going to work out. They could all putting the Pango off lane, but putting 2 melee against and brains none because you with 2 melee.
Pango has only won 2 games, has lost 6, has one of the lowest win rates in this tournament. So Playtime, hopefully they can make it work out. We're going to get the Furion coming out from Glyph, and because they see both of the supports, right? Well, they don't exactly know if Glyph is playing this Undying as just one of the supports because it's still an okay Clockwork game. Clockwork is in general a pretty good hero versus the Pango. Could also think about the Bane. I think Bane is also another good idea, but then again you have Nyx Assassin. That hero is going to hurt quite a lot with the Mind Flare. But I still think Clockwork is fine if they want to bring that one up.
Clockwork, I mean, it works pretty well against, for example, the Pango. I kind of like it. But they go for the Dark Willow. So far, they are flexing a little on the Undying, saying, because they could have taken like 2 supports, we would know, or they could have taken, you know, like an obvious offlaner, like let's say, I don't know, Primal Beast or Mars or whatever. Then we'd know the Undying is going to be a support. But they've kept it kind of close to their chest here with Glyph. Undying could go either way. Again, I very strongly feel it's a support, but there is flex here. And I want to go to something. I don't know. Can we call him Furion? I think we might have to call him just Nature's Prophet because you know.
You don't like Furion?
No, I like it. I'm just thinking that you know, certain issues with other companies.
I don't think I've ever ran into calling Furion a problem. The thing is, if you were to call it with the right name, it would be Malfurion. So
that's true.
Just pointing it out. Furion is fine. We got my favorite hero. We got Enigma. So I'm happy already. I think Playtime is really building an interesting draft here. Got a lot of team fight in this one, but long cooldowns. Is that the way to go? That they just march on the pushing end of things? They have good split push, good wave push in general. They can do damage pretty. They have big team fight abilities, and now they just basically need someone who utilizes all that damage. Mid Pango, offlane Enigma, most likely. Is this the way to go against this Glyph draft with long cooldowns versus pretty short ones?
I mean, I don't know if I would say the cooldowns are that long, right? Like Enigma Black Hole is definitely, it's like the longest in the game. But Nyx Assassin, Vendetta's kind of okay, Sharpshooter's is low, Pango maybe level 1, but goes down to what, like 60 seconds? On the same time, like Glyph, you know, Flesh Golem's long, Gur, pretty decent. So I think they matched them up. It's only the Enigma who can be out of commission for a while after he black holes. At this point, I'm thinking that Glyph should consider banning the Lone Druid. It's you already have your carry. You have Nature's Prophet, you have the mid puck. You don't need to sort of flex it. It could be an offlane Nature's Prophet, sure, but...
Well, Pango ulti is 100 seconds, and you only reduce it at level 25.
Oh, it is? Oh, well.
It's 190
Numbers.
and 80, so it's still 80 seconds at level 18, and then you can reduce it to 65 at level 25, so that's like late game.
Yeah.
So they do have to worry about those long cooldowns when it comes to team fight, because then again, Pango is a powerhouse in terms of damage. Best mage slayers in the game really amplifies. You can also build a defeat hero too. Probably not. But we'll see. Let's look at these.
Believe that it made like it was not banned the last phase because Playtime obviously needed a carry. The strongest carry was in the pool. I don't know about this one. I felt like Lone Druid in particular would suit Playtime because he sort of split push in downtime. But for Glyph, now you need an either offlaner or a carry. If it's offlane, I think Underlord would suit well. He's one of the best heroes at hunting down the bear. Right, bear shows up, you ulti, but they go for the Alchemist. So it's going to be an offlane Nature's very likely.
Or an offlane Undying and a support Natures. We'll see how they flick those heroes around. Zeal gonna pick it up, alright.
Alright, so Glyph has decided that we're gonna play as quick as we can because we have the Alchemist, right? So we're gonna try to maybe end the game fairly early before the Lone Druid gets online. This is probably one of the worst matchups for the Alchemist late game because Alchemist kind of caps out very quickly in terms of items. It doesn't scale much more. He gives Aghanims to allies. Lone Druid takes the longest endure to cap out because first it's the bear and then it's the hero. It's very, very interesting to me that they get the Lone Druid at the end when there were multiple choice chances for Glyph to remove it from the pool.
That's true. And also Zeal is the only offlane Furion player this tournament. So it will be the second. Composure at the end parts of the game and turn it around with those big black holes. So you can definitely do them with Japs. But how do you think these lanes are going in your perspective? Do you think there's a slight edge on either side?
I need to go back to the draft just to make sure I see all of them. But Enigma and what was it? Nyx Assassin against Alchemist and Undying. I feel like they're going to have a decent time here for the Alchemist Undying, especially with all those Eidolons. Beautiful, delicious. Yeah, it's lovely gold for the Alchemist. Mid lane, I believe it was Pango versus Puck. Should be fine. I'd give it slightly to the Puck. A little bit. Just, I wouldn't be surprised if Pango wins it, but I favor the Puck a little bit. So Glyph goes 2 wins, in my opinion. And the off lane was
Nature's Prophet versus Lone Druid.
Yeah, that one goes to the Lone Druid. Also, I'm on Team Purple. We have the crown. You have to take Team Blue on this one.
Okay, I'm on Team Purple too.
No, I'm Team Purple.
We're on the same side here, brother. All right.
So,
that being said, game number 1 is underway. This is the quarterfinal round. Playtime versus Glyph. Which of these two teams wants it more to make it into the top 4? Remember, this is a single elimination bracket, so we're kind of used to the double elimination, having a second chance. If you drop one series, you're still in it. Not this time around. So you got to win to stick in this tournament, to stay alive. And winning this series will double your prize pool from 35K to 70K. So that's already a sizable increase in tournament payouts. So either one of these two would love to get their hands on that.
yeah, I mean, that is very nerve-wracking, right? Not only does winning this match double your money, but you will have you will enter the double elimination stage at that point, because if you lose in top 4 in the semifinals, there is a 3rd place match to play still, worth 50,000 USD at least. So you get that second bit of a life coming out for you if you can make it through this series. Very, very high stakes. Honestly, I think this is the most nerve-wracking day of the tournament, because if you get to the finals, you already made good money. You're all right. You're in a decent spot. But here, it's like doubling your money, second chance of at life in this one. I'd be extra nervous today.
I haven't actually looked at the tournament prize pool winnings. All right, so Glyph has actually only... I think they have a 3rd compared to what Playtime has picked up. So for Glyph to push themselves into the top 4 would be a huge increase in terms of tournament winnings. So for them, this is kind of like payday possibilities out there. But you don't want to think about the money. You want to think about the Dota. They have their hearts and minds sunk into what is their next move and the move after their next move. That's how it works. It's never really about the money until you finally won, and then you're like, okay, so how much did we get? It's like that's the thing that they won't worry about later on.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean, you say that, but I feel like that's one of the things I've talked to like players and coaches, where they say we try not to think about these things, but it's kind of a little bit in the back of our minds.
I know.
It's very hard.
I know, but the thing, it's like money is irrelevant if we don't have the performance.
True, very true. And this game honestly can go either way. I like Glyph's draft. I think it's a very solid draft. It deals a lot with what the enemy has. My only issue is that I look at Lone Druid and I have a very, very hard time internally of picking the other team. I'm like, oh, Lone Druid feels like that 80% chance we're going to win the game. Sure, he loses occasionally, but that feels like an oddity more than anything else. And since you're the stat man, how many times has Lone Druid won in this tournament?
Lone Druid, 42% from 7 games, so I think that's a 3-4.
I see that is some bad math right there. That Lone Druid. Okay, surprising. I'm quite surprised that he's only won 3 out of the 7 games he's appeared in. Huh. Okay.
Yeah. But Lone Druid is in tied first place with Train Protector for the most contested hero of the tournament.
Look at the stage, by the way. Looks very nice. It's a very good-looking stage. I love that you can see that.
And also, I do also hope that some of the warriors from last night, we went deep into the night of Astana, covering those games from the decider round. We had LGD versus Zero Tenacity. We did have some fans out there in the audience still watching games late into the night. I wonder if some of those people have managed to crawl their way to the morning series, maybe slept at the arena and, you know, never technically left because they love Dota so much that they're probably still around. So if there are any of those people out there, I raise my invisible top hat to you.
Oh yeah, shout out to production for firstly making our job as easy as possible, and for the incredible hours they've been putting in. Like the people, you know, whether it's like the production for the producers, the cameramen, everyone on stage. Thank you so much. You know, this event only works because of so many hands working together and making it happen. Of course, you know, shout out
Steel
the players as well.
and Kawhi Sox were, they did every panel yesterday. They had like a 17-hour day as well, plus the interviews. We had some pretty good ones yesterday too, so looking forward to looking at them later on down the road. But hey, pause is over. Tech check is finished. Let's get this game going then.
The one lane I think Playtime could really win is the most dangerous one. Lone Druid and Hoodwink could do very well against Nature's Prophet and Dark Willow. Like Dark Willow, when she goes in her Shadow Realm, Hoodwink goes, okay, I'll just bushwhack you. You can't TP in front of me. We can roar you as well to make you run away. So I'm a big fan here. As wow, 3 bounty starts coming out here for Glyph.
Yeah. Pretty solid beginning there. Despite fighting in the river there and almost getting the 5 entangle stacks to root. Didn't quite get the final hit to connect. That could have been very good for them on the for the Lone Druid. I mean, the whole lane for the Lone Druid is about that level 1 aggression. You have very good kill potential at level 1. You want to utilize that. We do have Acorn shots, so that extra slow could help.
Look at Schofield trying to maybe, I don't know, be a bodyguard here for jabs. This, I think, is the most one-sided lane in favor of Glyph. And he takes the acid spray level 1. One question is, will Jack Boys take the stun? I'm seeing more and more Alchemists sort of avoid doing so. Taking more in their corrosive weapons, if I'm not mistaken, for this. It could be worth it because it helps you secure the Eidolons a bit easier.
You could get those acid spray points in. Skip out on the stun. I mean, the stun is useful. Might be a bit harder with the Eidolons in action. Maybe you do want to just get that extra net worth going by cleaning up the Dolans. They are very weak until you get the second point on it on Enigma. So level 3 is when they, when Enigma's level 3, so you get the second point in W's when they get a little bit stronger. They actually do a bit of damage. They're so soft, they're so weak. And Enigma's problem has always been that this hero doesn't really gain any armor, as Wits is going to be getting the first.
Oh, I was like, I was going to say, like, seems like a slight bit of lag here. Seal instantly
Even the players. Seal's asking for a remake there. Understandable. I mean, if that happened at the same time, but it's hard for me to say.
Can you imagine Playtime is like, no, this is playable. Yes, this is playable for us. They are going to go back into the game. Unfortunate, but not unexpected that this is what's going to happen because Playtime, the bottom lane, just seems so much stronger than what Glyph has to offer. And you start thinking, Dark Willow, she can drag lanes, but she's not the best for it, as Zeal says. Oh, yeah, I like that one. F9, F9, F9.
Yeah,
that's
a good one, yeah. I'm pretty sure someone's going to fall for that bait when they basically just post the, the F9 voice line, and then they're like, oh, that's a go sign, go. Yeah, Abed's asking for don't done pause. Because we did see, that was an admin pause, so...
Yes.
We are, we're going to continue again, hopefully. Fingers crossed now.
I really like that Abed's joking around with the players on Glyph. He is from the same region. He probably knows, has played with a lot of these players as well. And I like it in Dota when we have a little more personality coming out from everyone, just talking around, joking, not flaming, but that's spicy too, to be fair. Oh, look at that.
Does connect on the Willow, and Jokum might drop down. Oh, the camera actually jumps to the top lane, but the kill happens bottom. So the Dark Willows, the Witwhack, mainly being the reason allows them to get that second kill from the bottom lane.
Sometimes you don't want to show the violence happening. Bear on fairy violence is really an epidemic, and we don't want to show that here. So once the Dark Willow is about to die, the cameraman very sensibly decides we don't want to see that, and decides to show us the top lane instead. Despite 2 kills in favor of Playtime, it is actually Glyph with the network advantage. A big factor, of course, is you have the Alchemist farming, but the other lanes are also pretty solid, and Jabs, he's not really getting a whole ton of gold.
Jackie Boy doesn't have a lot of gold, or
Oh, sorry, Jabs. Jabs.
Jabs?
Yeah.
Right.
J-Man. Let's go. We'll call them both J-Man, then we'll let everyone guess what we mean.
Yeah, I mean, it is a really tough lane for the Enigma. The Nyx assassin doesn't really help me that much early on. Nyx has been known as a notoriously bad laner in the duo lanes. That's why we see a lot of Nyx in the mid role, like the mid Nyx. We kind of discussed upon it with John yesterday, the 1-3-1 build, which should be your general Nyx assassin build anyway.
Yep. And he is trying to. I like how that he leaves.
Yeah,
the
this
top
Enigma's
lane.
just going down, but you just can't fight this. Tombstone down and all, doesn't even get the last hit on it.
This is an interesting move by both teams. They're saying, all right, we are going to crush our safe lane and get crushed in our off lane. Because when you see Schofield leaving Jabs, he is making a very conscious decision. He's like, I know he's going to struggle. There's no way he doesn't know this. He's a better player than both of us combined. So Schofield's like, I'm just going to try and help the other lane. Schofield is in trouble also.
Schofield should be okay. Gonna take the Undying for a bit of a walk.
So there is a lot of damage going on for the... oh! Kicked out in time.
Yeah, we felt that lag. Yeah, the players
Yes.
also pointing it out there. Slight hiccups.
You can't make an omelet without cracking a few eggs.
That's
Speaking
true.
of which-
That's true. Words with them.
We've been eating a lot more eggs
Giving a laugh.
at home.
I've always referred to the Enigma laugh to you know the good old Lada
Lada?
the car.
No, I'm sorry. I'm not a car guy, unfortunately.
Oh,
But
okay.
Go on.
Well, Lada is like an ancient car from the east. So basically, it sounds like you're trying to start your car in -35 Celsius. You know, that's what Enigma's laugh sounds like.
I'm looking at images of it, and yes, I like. I think I've seen it in like some
Probably
of these
seen
old
one
shows.
somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very
Oh,
very
it's-
old school car.
It looks so like quaint and gentlemanly, you know. It's an adorable looking car, to be honest. But so far, laning phase is going very much as kind of predicted, right? Enigma struggling, Nature's Prophet struggling, Lone Druid having a good time, Alchemist having a good time. So with the game moving at the pace we assume it would, who does that favor more? I will say that I think the first 25 minutes should go well for Glyph. What they do in that time is what I find is what I'm like wondering about. But late game, I think this is all playtime. BKB, nothing cancels it for the Enigma. If you can jump in, get your black hole on easily, there's nothing Glyph can do about it. You have Lone Druid as well. Global presence a bit from Zeal, but not really enough.
Yeah, I mean, I fully agree. I think Glyph are the ones who technically have some sort of a timer. They can choke out the map pretty early, diminish the effectiveness of this Lone Druid and the Bear, the scaling of the Enigma, and of course the Pangolier. Like, all of these three heroes are really good like the further this game goes. Not saying Glyph doesn't have a good late game lineup of their own, but we know the effectiveness of the Alchemist in the late game. It might fall short. Puck is, with the right-click build, sure, he can hit really hard.
Yep.
Furion, at that point, is, I would say, he's in the middle ground of, like, he's pretty mid for a late-game hero, while Abed does get a catch on Sanctity. Narma's going to go for the chase on Schofield, and they will get the kill for the Undying, assisted with the Shadow Realm.
I mean, you're still fairly happy on playtime. You brought the enemy's biggest playmaker down, while you only lost Schofield, who really doesn't mind dying at this stage of the game. So I would say that favors playtime quite a bit. And mid lane, I thought would be quite even, but now we're seeing Abed around 3,000 gold ahead of Sanctity.
Precious bounty.
And in the meantime, though, bottom lane, Wits just continues to be having a good time. There was a debate I had. I don't know if it was with John but we were discussing where you put the Maelstrom on, whether you put it on the hero or the bear. Do you have any preferences?
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
For the bear build?
Never mind. Fight begins.
We'll get to that in a second as we are contesting this Wisdom. Just Prophet in the middle of all of this. Wits, he's taking a 1v3 at this point because Schofield and Jokum have both already fallen. Here comes Abed as well rolling in, but the Undying is the one who's going to be dropping. Man, I understand why John was so upset yesterday about how strong this Lone Druid here is, and he can just slide it off and play time yet another team.
And they got them. I didn't actually able to get their own on play time. I imagine one of their own players was able. Yeah, thank you much, production. Yes, know that. This is the big deal, and the kills on top of it. And Glyph's early game has been decimated because even the Enigma, who was struggling, is only a few hundred gold behind the Alchemist, who's meant to be crushing him. And the Alchemist is, I wouldn't say he's away, but certain distance away through it. As they're stunned, he's like, "What happened, guys? This is not good."
Well, definitely off to a rough start. It's always kind of hard for the players as well to keep their composure and keep themselves focused when there are, tech pauses and they kind of get sidetracked from their full 110% focus on the game, and then you kind of need to spend all this pause time on, okay, what was I doing last? What am I supposed to do next? And just, you never know if it's going to be 5 seconds, if it's going to be 2 minutes, if it's going to be half an hour, and then you have to just, get back into it. And we always see post-pause accidents happen because, oh yeah, that was happening. Oh yeah, there's an AA blast on the way, by the way, so you didn't forget to dodge it as we're going to go diving for Abed, but a beautiful turn as El Misho will get the bushwhack out just in time, and the barrier for Abed keeps him alive. The puck is also dangerously low on HP, and Sanctity goes down as he orbs into the shield crash by Abed, and this man continues to roll in for another and gets Narman maybe as well. It is El Misho trying to right-click down the Undying. He's down to 100 HP, has another decay ready. He's fighting with the Hoodwink, and El Misho survives the battle. Jokum can't get close enough. All of his spells on cooldown. And the Alchemist goes down to a black hole solo play from Jabs. Playtime doing everything correct right now. Maybe a little bit lucky too, but man, if you look at it from Glyph's perspective, I think that, they're doing the right things, but they're getting a little bit unlucky, and now there's a 4K net worth difference.
Against Alchemist, 9 minutes into
Alchemist.
the game. I mean, this is the most brutal start. We've seen a lot of very amazing matches in this tournament, all very even. We see 4,000 net worth at like 50 minutes, and that's what we've seen in some of these games. This is a beatdown so far. Playtime has destroyed Glyph in game 1.
And we talked about that late game scaling, right? If this is what the laning stage is going to be looking like, where the Enigma was having a hard time in the first few minutes, they also have 8 stacks made as well, so someone's going to be cleaning up those quite happily for the Radiant side. This is all just going to accelerate their timings.
Yep. I mean, look at those green, thick, long bars that they have on playtime, and then look at the tiny red ones. Zeal in particular is having a tough game. It was Sanctity who got twice. I mean, it is very hard to play against Nyx. Nyx wasn't even Yetta. He just walks in.
Yeah. Also have a 6K net worth Lone Druid in the first 10 minutes. That's some pretty crazy numbers.
Extra thick, I believe we call it.
Thick. Yeah, you could put it that way. Puck and the Furion lagging slightly behind. I mean, their net worth is still pretty good, like 3.5 to 4K in 10 minutes. It's not bad. It did drop a lot of ultis here as we're fighting inside the Dire jungle. They'll catch Schofield. That was the Rage, the...
Dire's top tower has fallen.
Playtime is having a really good time in this game so far. We'll see what Glyph can do to recover. I feel like some players are gonna have to come from Sanctity and Zeal on this Puck and Nature's Prophet, find some pickoffs. There are some fragile heroes like the Hoodwink and the Nyx Assassin that you can work on, but they're so poor. Sanctity is still working on that Witchblade.
Yeah, it's going to take a while to get that Witchblade ready. By the looks of it, especially if Abed is applying this much pressure on him, and he'll just take him down in the river. Well, you got the 80 rune, but comes at a heavy price. Jokum also goes down to Wits, and my god, Playtime, what did you have for breakfast?
A very healthy breakfast, very, very good. You know, full of fiber, basically, because they're crapping all over Glyph right now.
Oh. I guess you only have carbs on the side of Glyph, feeling a bit drowsy. Max the carbs.
That's max weight gain. We don't want that. Right now, I'm very surprised at how badly things have gone for Glyph in the top and mid lane in particular. I knew Zeal would struggle. I'm not surprised by what's happening to him. It's the other two lanes. Like Jackboy still working. I think he's still working towards the Radiance, which is fine. It's just he looks so poor compared to everyone else on PT.
And they are really getting away. Really building a big difference between the cores. Schofield is also aggressively scouting here. See, Narman, Jackie Boy, he steals like half of those creeps as well with that one little stun. That was a level 2 Impale as well.
Narman might be in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, and he's going down. Abed also using... Okay, so... The sharpshooter was initially intended for Narman, but when he saw that the bushwhack is going to be enough for Japs to finish the kill, my man turns around 180 degrees with a fully loaded crossbow and suddenly finds a Dark Willow being ulted by Abed, so they get an extra kill. And, you know, they basically have half the net worth to the amount of kills that they've got this game, which I think is pretty sick. 18 kills and 9,000 gold.
Oh, but it's okay. They're up against a slow farming draft like Alchemist, right? That is crazy. As it looks like Witz is keeping the Molineer on him, or sorry, Mjolnir. I always have to be corrected on my pronunciation of this.
Well, if you want to correct the pronunciation, it would be Mjolnir. That would be the accurate one.
You're the first person who makes me want to say it the way you say it, because everyone else is like, no, Mjolnir, like shut up. But you say it very nicely. Ow!
Mjolnir. It's like, put anything you want. Sanctity did find a pretty important kill on the Nyx Assassin, but he does also end up getting caught trying to take the mid T1 tower. He's...
It's really hard to pinpoint exactly when things have gone bad for Glyph. But the movement when Playtime stole the Wisdom Shrine was wild. They walk in, I think it was like 2 versus 3 in the beginning. I think they lost the Hoodwink, but Witz doesn't care. He's like, Hoodwink? Whatever, right? I'm just gonna stay here until Abed shows up. They clean house, they get a solo kill top with Black Hole. They steal the Wisdom Shrine. It was kind of over at that point for Glyph. Not over yet, certainly. Well, he's dead. Huh? Mm-hmm. Okay. Oh, but hopefully Panda will be able to rejoin us in just a little bit here as we're gonna... Oh, he's going for the stun against Sanctity. The Spirit Vessel, the stun Impale from a mile away, the Bushwhack too. Is he gonna be able to make it out of live phase? Shift, gets a little bit of healing back. Sanctity should be it. Nope, he's dead. He's dead. Schofield with some vision being provided by Wits, and Schofield gets him with the monoburn at the end. They're going for Narman, the Blink Dagger on the Enigma, paying dividends right now as Narman continues to get stunned, followed by the Nyx, followed by the crossbow.
Get that crossbow bolt. Snap down Narman. He does have the Endless Dirge though, so he's straight back into action. Where do you go with him though? There's no... I mean, this tomb coming up in 10 seconds. If you look at the list of cooldowns that Glyph has right now, I mean, it's I'm glad we have a bar big enough for that.
But like, can you imagine that you see the heroes move to the left, so the bar can go for like you get longer and longer. Yeah, and by the way, the Undying, he's like, where's the meat grinder? Time to jump into it yet again.
Well, 23-6. It's almost 4 times the kills for playtime. Net worth is very high considering it's 17 minutes in. And the Alchemist does... I mean, we have Radiance, right?
Oh, definitely. It's definitely got Radiance.
They have Radiance. We don't have Radiance.
But we're on Team Glyph, right? Kinda. I mean, we're rooting for the underdog. Let's go with that.
I've been casting way too much Finnish Dota lately, where it's like we always talk about us.
Oh, I do that too.
We always talk about like as if we were in the team, you know. No matter which team it is, they're both us.
Well, we're gonna go for a shot.
And I think it's fair. I think it's fair because it helps you. It helps you kind of put yourself in the boots of those players. It's like, I mean, we've got this and we've got that, right? So we should be able to win fights, you know?
I am in the boots of Glyph, and they're shaking right now because it's very scary what Playtime has coming at them. However, I don't know if I'd call it a positive, but observation is that the net worth hasn't grown much for Playtime in the last few minutes. It's been, yeah, it went from 10 to 11,000, but it has not grown as fast as it was, you know, post-laning phase, you know, the 8 to 12 minute mark.
The wounds aren't gushing, they're still bleeding. But not as bad.
We'll put a band-aid on them. That'll solve everything.
Yeah, we slapped a flamethrower on that wound, so...
Sealed it shut, didn't it? What are we complaining about?
At least we secured it, but, you know, it still hurts. Put it that way.
Being bottom, by the way.
He's setting up for the puck. I mean, it looks like they're anticipating something, but...
Has a Blink Dagger on the Nyx Assassin. I don't see the Blink Rush as much as I used to, but, you know, there's so many stuns coming out from the Enigma where the jab is getting on Sanctity, so he's like, all right, I just need to be able to follow up with my Enigma. Very useful.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
If he had a boomerang.
Different.
Yep, if he had the boomerang, he would have been able, or of course the boomerang or the level 12, it could have been a kill here. Smokes up from Glyph, seeing who they can find. Jackboy's charging up his stun. He's gonna be, oh, the black hole on 2! Very unfortunate, but at least Zeal was able to get into the tombstone and survive, but he's the only one, the tombstone. That's what you're gonna put on the other 3 guys though, as they are just gone. Good, great black hole coming out from Jabs. Panda's favorite in this tournament.
I saw it, and I apparently couldn't talk on top of it. I was watching that black hole, so I thought, all right, well,
middle tower is under attack.
issues on my end as well. Apologies for that. What's causing it, but hopefully it doesn't repeat again, because I don't want to miss these big Enigma ultimates like we just saw there.
Well, don't worry. I think there's going to be plenty more. There's going to be plenty more whether Playtime wins or loses, because for them to lose, the game has to go very, very late for Glyph to make a comeback, as Zeal is dead again. Jabs is a stone cold man because he teleports.
10-1 on an Enigma. That's those are stats I almost never see in the early game when I play this hero.
Is your name Jabs?
My name is not Jabs, so that makes him pretty unique.
That's the problem. See, if your name was Jabs, yeah, that's the problem. If your name was Jabs, you would definitely get 10-1 some games, in some competitive matches even.
Maybe it should rebrand to J Panda.
I wanted to say that. Oh, fine.
It's like a mocking J Panda, mocking Panda.
Joker able to get the Wisdom Shrine for himself. You know, the one small positive you can say that we gave to Glyph was that the net worth was not growing, and then just balloons out with a massive team fight. It's gonna have to be plan A is gonna be just drag the game. Plan B is gonna have to be drag the game. Every plan that Glyph has to focus on split pushing with like Zeal and Sanctity, while Jack Boys recovers. That's it. The supports have nothing to do for Glyph.
Yeah. And I mean, if you think about some of the engagements too, it's like you feel like you see a quick opening. You feel like you can jump this hero. You have the potential to kill a hero, but if it takes a second or 2 seconds too long, you have the entire force of playtime on top of you, and then you end up paying the price. So then the call is go back to farming, guys. Split push, feed the supports if you have to, but get those waves out, give us safe farm on the cores. And then 15 seconds later, someone's like, oh, we can kill this guy. He's alone. He shouldn't be here. And the same story repeats and repeats and repeats. It's a cycle that never ends. And you got to learn how to, one, break it or hope that you finally get lucky. Because this is exactly what you kind of have to do at this point. You need to push those supports down those lanes for your enemy to hunt so that your cores get info that they can safe farm. That's the point Glyph's at right now.
I do like what they have on Schofield. He's got the early gem. I mean, I say early, but I feel like we're seeing 20 to 25 minute gems become the standard, and that helps you clean out all the wards, which is one of the tools Glyph could use to at least get some split push safely. But they're like, no, you don't even get that benefit. And even if the game goes late, right, J Panda, it's still going to be up against a lone druid. It's like, oh, you know what you're gonna have late game? What? A farmed lone druid to deal with. Hooray!
Yeah, I guess we need to ask J Panda about that. I have no idea. Wits with the bear. I mean, we got a gem on Schofield as well. I'm just trying to look at what that lone druid has picked up so far, because 16,000 net worth, 23 minutes, and that lone druid bear's got to be a huge force to be reckoned with. I love how Wits is just holding on to a lotus. You know, he's jungling with a flower in his hand.
The man is a flower, honestly. Yeah,
he's a herbologist.
Wonderful. Probably, I think Shadowblade, Aghanim Scepter, as well as Mjolnir.
Mjolnir.
You say it so much better. I did bad on purpose.
You're getting better.
No, thank you.
Just gotta practice. Just gotta practice.
You gotta roll the letter that doesn't exist in the English language. You gotta roll that letter. Like,
I mean, I have the advantage of living close to the Viking country, so we know how to pronounce weird letters.
Abed, he's got the Aegis. Not as dramatic as the one he got yesterday when he was playing Invoker in that game 3. Phenomenal Abed performance, by the way.
You know what, by the way? I think there's one thing I could maybe do for Glyph. Not to be biased or anything, but let's see. Maybe they don't need me for anything because they are going to go charging in onto the Hoodwink and try to look for a kill on him. Meanwhile, they got the Pango coiled up as well. Wits is bringing in the Bear. Jab's joining in as well with the Enigma. And instantly, Black Holes the Alchemist holds him in control. Tombstone save. That's going to be a good one for them to hold their ground for a bit longer on the side of Glyph. But Abed is still tearing through this Undying. Abed getting stuck on the edge of the stairs. He can't get anywhere right now. Jabs is being pushed away. And Puck does get a bit of damage out, but Wits is returning again with the Bear. Abed still in the middle of all these brambles, but they run out of firepower. The Puck is still trying to escape from Jabs and from Schofield and manages to get out. Meanwhile, Abed is cleaning house. So all things considered, that was the best fight for Glyph and almost the best scenario that they could hope for, that they're forcing the Black Hole with the Tombstone save. They've got Puck dealing damage throughout the whole fight, but they're just so far behind that all of the cores and all the heroes on the side of playtime are just too tanky that it takes a while to kill him now.
Right, like they jumped on Jokam. It takes them a bit to burst him down. I think he has a Solar Crest he was able to use, and the Black Hole gets nullified completely, still doesn't matter. Speaking of Black Hole, Jack Boy, he's staring down the end of one.
Yeah, that Alchemist is not going to walk out of this one alive. Abed will pick up another 11-1 on the Pango. Just has that one death from a previous fight. But yeah, I think the one thing Glyph could maybe use, because, you know, they have Sanctity, they have Narman in the team, so maybe a good old... maybe they need some of that to get some energy in them, you know? It's been a while since I've done that in a bit.
For all those of you blessed in the audience, that is throat singing, and Panda can do that.
I try. It's not as good as Davai, but I try.
Does it put a strain on your throat? I imagine you can't do it for too long, right?
I can do it for a while, but
Okay.
just need some warm up. I've been casting Dota for a couple hours yesterday, so my voice is fully warmed up for this day at least. Get the coil snapping on too with an AD rune on Sanctity. It is again the Hoodwinks that's going to be taking the majority of the damage.
Here's Abed
rolling in as well. Jabs is just waiting for an angle to walk in, but there's no black hole for 25 seconds. Alk is in trouble. Jackboy does have to force his BKB. As his ulti is about to run out, he needs to back away. Leaving the fight onto the high ground. Narman's Sanctity in front. Didn't get the tombstone. Now he does. Terrorizes there as well, dropping them low with the decay. And Jabs is taking hits on the low ground. And this Enigma has to back away. Teleport all the way back home. They even lose the Aegis on Abed. This is potential now for Glyph. Maybe they got some strength out of the throat singing because Zeal will get Schofield and the Bear's gonna get isolated. And they are looking to take that Bear down, and that will help.
Looks like, yeah, and I mean, the curtains fall. We'll be rejoining in just a second here.
Yeah, the classic Kale. But, you know, pretty important fight for Glyph to keep their hopes up. I mean, they even with just a couple kills, do manage to get a bit of net worth going on go in their direction. The Alchemist is finally starting to do some damage, and we can see the presence of the puck in these.
Yeah, it's looking okay. I would not have the script today. I mean, I don't know who wrote it, but it's a good one. Glyph with this draft was going to lose early, but then they might make a comeback in the mid game. You're like, who wrote this? Who it's all fire, start to finish. An animal.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
There's not much you can do. The Bear is way too farmed right now. This is a matchup where the Alchemist should be ahead, and he loses his Courier as well. That would have helped him farm a little bit faster, that Hyperstone. Unfortunate situation. Honestly, losing Jack Boys in that situation kind of negates the small gains that they made in the last couple of minutes.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack. You are, but it's fine. Yeah, because you will be back in a moment here. Unfortunately, will Glyph make a comeback? Right? Oh, Zeal, interesting teleport into several people. He wants to go for Almisho. Has been the target #1 the last few fights. Almisho looks like he's gonna die, and he does. I think Jabs is gonna just teleport out. He's in the area. Does he want to go back in? He's gonna leave. Too dangerous for him to stay in that situation. So, in the meantime, Jack Boys, he's just farming very nicely for himself. I say very nicely. I mean, he gets 30 seconds of free farm before the next disaster comes to him. All right, there is Mr. J, the J-Man himself. Enigma has the BKB. Nothing can cancel it right now, unless they can get some sort of abyssal. Oh, he's going in. We lose Narb lane. Abed rolls, deactivates his Aeon to be okay for a bit, but Zeal has no such protection, especially not from a hungry Bear. As in the meantime,
They're they just end up in these really vulnerable positions, knowing that playtime has all. it feels like when you're this far behind in levels, the supports just don't stand a chance if they are like even for a split second spotted in a lane. The cores can stand their ground now. We saw the Aeon disc already on the puck, which is starting to become a meta build. But I mean, I guess you don't really have much of a choice. Like this is the puck build we play these days. We go Aeon disc.
I'm seeing it's a lot also like when heroes who after they get like a couple of key items, just go for Aeon disc, like Winter Wyvern. You go Blink then Aeon disc because you say, well, what's the worst thing they can do to me? If they jump on me, I still survive. It's a very good item on defensive heroes.
I mean, I understand it on supports, but having Aeon disc on a core always feels a bit counterproductive.
Yes.
But then again, it is a very good game to have an Aeon disc if the opponent has like this quick stun burst combo available. As talking about that, Sanctity manages to get away for the time being, but El Misho's still going to be there, and it does look like playtime is over because game number 1 has come to a close. Playtime will take this one. A clean 41-10 victory, and you know, black hole for style there by Jabs in the end. It was a bit of a messy game. Probably messed with the players' heads a bit as well at the start of the match as well with the Kales, but what can you do? The skill and the draft really showed that Playtime was much more ready for this series, at least in terms of game 1.
Fiber versus carbs, baby. That's what they can do for you in the game. Imagine what they can do for your body, but Playtime, man, it came down to, I feel like a lot of it's last pick. You get the Lone Druid, the strongest hero, and in a draft that really benefits him with a lot of split push. You were talking about like the downtime, right? In downtime, what do you want? You want to push out the lanes if you can, stall it out, and Lone Druid does that amazingly well. There were ban options, but Rivs felt they can deal with it. But we're going to go to the analysts out, see what they think.
Центр кредит банкымен сіз қарапайым және заманауи шешімдердің ортасындасыз. Нық сеніммен жаңа мүмкіндіктер ашып, тексерілген сапаға сеніңіз. BCC KZ мүмкіндіктерді кеңейтіңіз. Центр кредит банкымен сіз қарапайым және заманауи шешімдердің ортасындасыз. Нық сеніммен жаңа мүмкіндіктер ашып, тексерілген сапаға сеніңіз. BCC KZ мүмкіндіктерді кеңейтіңіз.
And we are back again here after the game number 1. Thank you very much, casters here, and thank you for both teams. I mean, that was a clean sweep. Not gonna lie, the game was basically over after 23rd pick of Lone Druid. I respect the Glyph for actually making it also risk taking that risk. Alchemist pick, having seconds remaining on there, it's really a rough situation. They went for it. I give him a respect, but yeah, what do you think about that, Kawaii?
Honestly, as you said, on 23rd this game was lost, but like at minute 7 it was just unbeatable. there was absolutely no way of coming back after Laundry himself goes to your Shrine of Wisdom. Not only takes your Shrine of Wisdom, but actually kills 2 heroes at the same time. He accelerated towards endgame at like minute 15. He had everything he needed to just go high ground. He had supports who already had Crimson, not Crimson, I'm sorry, Solar. And with the Bears, they just could finish the game. Yeah. I think they should have finished it a bit earlier, to be honest.
Oh, yeah, I see. Interesting. So you want to say that they were quite early, but not early as our great sponsor here. I would like to mention our one of the general partners that are for digital football, actually. The Samruk Kazana, would like to appreciate them, and they do it from August 4th to August 9th, actually. Did you know that?
Yeah, I've checked all the Phygital sports. Football is kind of fun, but I have my favorites and not my favorites. Let's watch some highlights from this game. There are many, and there is one in particular I really would like to see. It happened around minute 8, around minute 9 maybe. It's when Abbott went for something absolutely crazy. He was playing so well. I hope you get to see that.
Yeah, of course. Let's take a look. The highlight itself. For now, we're seeing our handsome players in the early morning here. I hope they get their jet lag out and everything is fine. Let's take a look.
This is just like a good kill on an enemy hero, right? But a bit later on, some trade. A bit later on, he goes in. That's the moment I told you about when the game became unbeatable. You take away the enemy position 3, you take 2 kills. No, I think he killed supports, and then you take the Shrine as well.
How you can fight this Lone Druid bear and the hero when he transformed himself? It just insane.
Look at this. Look at what Abbott is doing here.
Yeah, he's barely living on a sliver of it. He had 1 HP. He had 1 HP left, and with a bear dodging everything. What a man! What a chat here. Abbott playing off of his limits here, and we see
it is still not over, Borko. I mean, what is it?
Abbott, after all, it's one of the best mid laners out there in the world, so that's why he's playing here at our great event called Game of the Future. I just respect the team that are actually doing their best to with Alchemist, and they did their best. And for me, the stood out the most was Enigma pick with his item build on Japs. Personally, I really like the factor that he bullied the lane. Then he went into Vessel with the drums. He was pretty active, and he had that pressure. He's pressuring top. Abbott is silencing people on mid, and the bottom, the bear is just he doesn't need the help. He's just doing fine.
And he's farming heroes. He's doing everything he wants to do, basically. This highlight was more or less the only point in the game where it looked like Glyph might be thinking about a comeback. But it was never close. There was just a sliver of hope that this game might continue for a little bit longer, but nah. Abbott just rolls everybody in.
Yeah, man,
so what do you do? Like, if you're Glyph, what do you do? Do you just don't forget about LD?
I mean, you just simply, if you're a player from Team Glyph, you just forget this game ever existed. I honestly think there was a miscommunication on the drafting part, because they had like a reserve time for 15 seconds left, and then they saw that LD on 23. So that LD on 23 was the huge turning point for them, and they were forcing too much of that Furion to make it carry or 3 or whatever, and they just I would say they out-minded and out-drafted themselves rather than they lost. You know what I mean? So like, because they wanted to surprise their enemy, but they surprised themselves. I mean,
you think they were hoping for an LD24 in this kind of draft?
No. What I think is that they would.
I think they just forgot about LD. Honestly, I think they just straight up forgot about him.
They forgot about LD, or B, they just they didn't just expect. Well, yeah.
Well,
they forgot.
They forgot about LD, but we will not forget about Halik, who sponsored Phygital Basketball here at Games of the Future. I believe that today is the finals for basketball,
Right,
so
it
thank
is.
you, Halik Bank, for sponsoring this amazing event.
And thank you, Halik. Yeah, as pretty much you said. So you want to say the standout the most was the Abed, basically.
I mean, Abed was the most stylish one. Wiz was the most effective one. And I think Japs was the smartest one with his itemization. Everybody contributed something, including supports.
No, for sure. I mean, especially with the Knicks pick into Puck. Sorry. But yeah, Knicks pick into Puck, he did well with the carapace and stuff, and he was getting the kills. He's getting those, like, you know, Schofield, he likes to play with those melee type annoying heroes that, and he does well.
Tusk, Clockwork, Nyx, whatever you want, right? Like, he wants to be tanky, he wants to go in, he wants to scout for his team, he wants to create plays, and he was creating plays, he was fighting plays, more like.
Right. And let's talk more on the supports. Here we see the scoreboard.
Actually, there is one score that looks kind of bad, but I do feel like we need to talk about Norman a little bit. He self-purchased Shard super early, and we've seen during the highlights at least 3 times he saved a teammate from Black Hole by using the tombstone.
Oh, yeah,
at least
yeah,
2 times.
I
But I think like when I was watching, I think it was 3 times. But during highlights, it was 2 times, and that was really, really good.
I mean, he's a smart player, and he's one of the old veteran players from the CN from Mongolia. He's one of the biggest stars. He reminds me of Zayas from Kazakhstan himself. He's similar type of the player, and he was a position 4 player back in the day. He was playing for Maus, if you guys remember, with Nico, and they were owning Europe a lot. So definitely he's one of the veteran and very well-minded players. Well-minded players, just like our Yandex, our taxi called Cab Yandex. I would like to appreciate them, and please download the app Yandex and use them for your travels. Here in Astana we use it a lot, and it's great. Thank you for that, for making this tournament possible.
Yeah, we can't go anywhere without it, and I don't think Liv can go anywhere further in this tournament by forgetting LD. I mean, I know we're circling back to this once again, but what can you do? Like, you cannot give away this hero. The hero's been nerfed, I believe, for almost 4 or 5 patches in a row. Not, I mean, including the later ones. There were small patches, but it's been a nerf after nerf after nerf. How do you make this hero be gone if you're Valve?
Be gone? I mean, they just like reworked the hero, and they thought they kind of like killed the hero, but in reality he got buffed. So like. All well-respected teams, like tier 1 to tier 2 teams, they always ban this hero because the hero can be really annoying, especially if you're off laner and mid laner can play that hero as well. It just that hero can go to other lanes and do pretty much the same thing and make it chaos. And also, Spirit Bear became a hero. Now he can break the smokes, he can capture the wisdoms as you were seeing earlier, right? And so it just creates that a little bit chaotic moment for the enemy team and that pressure.
Yeah, personally, I think it's the Aghanim that is a problem, right? Because it completely breaks the Dota. You get this essentially free buyback on the 300-second cooldown that gets lower and lower. You get this free hero every single time. You can split push with it. I think it's just conceptually a bit too broken. Even during the Admiral Bulldog days, the hero wasn't that strong.
I mean, yes, it's like now we just see there's so many things that are considered to be broken in Dota. There's so many things that can be viewed as differently, definitely. As you guys see, our futuristic type here in Astana, our very beautiful hometown. What do you think about Phygital games?
I'm enjoying them. I'm enjoying everything, but I'm mostly working Dota, right? Like we had a full day yesterday. We finished at what? We finished at 3 a.m.
3:30 a.m. local time in Astana, yeah.
And we started at 10 a.m.
Yeah, and we're in a good shape.
Yeah, I like us. I like us for that.
I like us. We definitely, and the casters definitely like us too. By the hearing, thank you very much, caster.
I mean, T-Panda, I think he only slept for like several hours as well, but he is fly. Like, he is super fresh. He's working so hard.
I mean, with the Mongolian throw out there, I'm definitely sure. Yeah,
that was absolutely amazing.
Shout out for that. Yeah, it was sounding crazy in our beautiful Jack Arena, and wish you guys were here as well, and we could also see these beautiful games here at the stage. Meanwhile, I'd like to tell you guys more about our other disciplines as well. It's just we have different disciplines. Meanwhile, that we're watching Dota too.
I mean, there is PUBG that is finished, I believe.
Yeah.
But there is a Counter-Strike 2 starting sometime soon.
Yeah.
And from what I've gathered, Counter-Strike 2 is being played. First, you just play Counter-Strike. It's a regular game. We all know it, even though not all of us play it, like myself. But then they go and play laser tag, and that is just freaking crazy.
Yeah, they do like actually shooter type in real world. So
and I've heard like some snippets of information from the organizers because it hasn't started yet. But I think the players who play Counter-Strike, they then put like small webcams on themselves.
Oh yeah.
And we can watch them play laser tag from their perspective in a way that like we see Counter-Strike, how we spectate Counter-Strike.
Oh, I see. Oh no, that's so clever. I come to think of it, and I did not know that yet. But so far, what I know, they're actually doing the media today, and yes, they should start quite soon. But meanwhile, we're here at Dota, and as you guys see, our futuristic city, Astana, it's great, it's amazing, and we're just thanking the organizers here at Games of the Future.
But we were talking about broken things, and we mentioned LD being broken.
Yeah.
What do you think is the most broken item?
Item. Consecrated wraps. Has to be deleted soon, and it will get deleted soon in like I would predict like around a year or so. Just like the same as with
they just changed the art on the items. They're not gonna delete it.
Sorry, what?
They just changed the artwork on the item.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't think they're gonna delete it. Maybe rework it a little bit.
I mean, the item is conceptually broken because, for example, when you're playing a Queen of Pain, you can't burst the hero because he has like that barrier thing, and the more damage you apply in a short period of time, he gets a 0 damage. It's just nuts. It should not work that way. Also, it just creates the unfairness because some hero they just become unkillable for mage players, right? Also, like imagine you're Ember, right? So you're playing Ember, you're buying this new meta item, Mage Slayer, plus let's say you buy Consecrated Wraps against, I don't know, let's say Leshrac, Necrophos, like Quap, whatever, those kind of heroes, Zeus. And those heroes are gonna do 0 damage to you.
No, it's not gonna be 0. It does get reduced quite a bit, but it's not 0. And they've nerfed Consecrated Wraps multiple times.
They do, but it's still broken.
You still think it's too good?
It's still broken item.
Okay.
It's still broken item. That's why we see Tide Hunters, Axes go those items, and it's just like when the people can go pipe, they go over Consecrated Wraps for the reason for themselves to be vulnerable.
Extra tanky.
Yeah. Just a lot of damage can be
mitigated.
Like they just ignore the damage. It's just insane.
I kind of agree. I would 100% agree with you when Consecrated Wraps were just released. But right now, I feel like the item is maybe a bit on the stronger side, but not necessarily broken. But I do believe Nullifier is broken.
The thing is, now we got used to that item, you know, and now we understand we can just purge it, we can just poke it, you know. It's like
it's like playing around Aeon Disc.
Yeah. It's like pretty much. I think really smart comparison here, Kawai. So it's just like we now get used to it, how to play it, and we need to poke it. So like right now on Queen of Pain, you need to hit that guy, or you need to jump and then use a Q, like Shadow Strike, before you do this full damage. But it still is like the super defensive mechanism item that has to get nerfed. Just like BKB got nerfed, just like Refresher got nerfed. And hello guys, again, we're here. So basically those items are,
You're mostly a core player from what I gather. Like, I know you're mostly a coach nowadays.
Yeah.
But when you're not a coach, you're mostly a core player.
I mean, I've played all the roles, so I played from position 1 to position 5. I've played all the roles professionally.
But what do you play now? Like
I'm not playing it. I'm not playing Dota. I'm just fully watching Dota a lot, and I just analyze things. I coach people. Just
because every single support I talk to hates Nullifier, myself included.
Yeah, because I mean
it's way too strong, right?
It's cheap item in comparison to other like Nullify item, right? So like Disperser, whatever, you know. So that item is pretty good, pretty cheap, efficient, and even support players can buy it. Like I've seen Save, for example, from Bedboom. He plays very well, and he bought online. I do remember he bought a Nullifier.
Yeah, if it makes sense, you can do that, right? Yeah. My personal problem was that it just gives you a lot of free stats. When you combine the Sacred Relic with a...
100%.
Yeah, you just get plus
of
20 damage for free without a recipe. You get like extra armor for free without a recipe, and that just doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, it does make sense. I completely agree with you. Here it's just, you know, people are so... one-minded in terms of the item choices on damage. For example, for carry players, like they'll go, they complain about, there's no much damage. You buy either Deso, you buy Daedalus, or you buy MKB. There's no much damage, or you buy Rapier, right? Divine Rapier. But people tend to forget Nullifier. Nullifier gives you around 75 to 85 damage, and it's quite a lot for its price. It's only 4K, 4 point like for what?
And it's also used for armor.
It's really cheap, and you have a Nullifier. You need to buy a Nullifier on course anyway on most sports, or you need to buy a Disperser. Like you need one of those because the supports now they buy what? They buy Ewls, they buy Glimmers, so they buy what?
They buy well, from what I've seen, they only buy the Solar Crest as in winning games. It feels like currently Solar Crest is a win more type of item instead of being like a defensive anti-physical item.
I usually really loved Medallion of Courage back in the days, if you guys know it, and now it's back in Dota. I'm so glad that they brought it back. And because of this Medallion of Courage, they became the Solar Crest. As soon as the Solar Crest got released, and as soon as the Medallion of Courage got released, I don't remember, 13 years ago, guys, that's the moment that I fall in love into that item. Because it was so good. You can use it to enemies, you can use it to your allies, you know, but you couldn't use it for yourself.
But now it's like much
you can
worse.
Use it for yourself too.
Yeah,
like,
you can use it on your allies. You give them barrier, it gives them some extra attack speed.
You get the barrier too.
But it's not that great, right? Like, I mean, I think it's great, but most professional players, they prefer something different unless they're winning, unless they're rolling so hard that the extra attack speed that the item provides allows them to go high ground a bit earlier.
The thing is that people nowadays, they think Dota a little bit different, and they want to be a little bit greedy and selfish, and they want to go Ags, they want to go Shard, they want to go some other items, but I'm more of like the old school type of player, like I really like the Vessels, I really like the Solars, I really like those kind of like buffing support items, because since you're a support, you're not a core, but now people think completely different, and they might be right. I'm not saying anything. This is a different perspective of Dota that I don't see, but they see it. They want to be the carry as a +5 player. They want to be the carry as a +3, +4 player, right? So like, the whole Dota now has changed with the new map, new things and everything. Come to think of that, I want to say one thing before it slips my mind. The barrier. I feel like that barrier has to get actually removed from the game. I really
just the
shield room barrier, Solar Crest, there is like the Pango shield, everything that is their barrier. I dislike it. That's why I don't like the consecrated wraps. I mean, I kind of do like it when I buy it, of course, but it's like
it's a mechanic that fits into general mechanics as well, because you can use Blink with the barrier, and that makes it different to just flat damage reduction or like magic resistance and things like that.
For me though,
it's a unique mechanic. That's what I'm saying.
I do agree, and it fits it well, right? For Dota, it can fit everything well. My point is, for example, when you're playing a +3 player, right? When you're +3 in your axe, you want to blink in, right? And a guy just uses an urn on you, and you can't blink, right? But because of the barrier, you can't blink. It doesn't make sense for me.
But now we have an urn that can press on the ground.
Yeah, you can. Now it's upgraded urn.
So you need like a counterplay to a counterplay. More tools, more mechanics. I think that's Dota.
Now it lands what, 30 seconds-ish? Yeah, I think on the ground, and anybody who goes it, you get to see their vision. So when it's fun fact, when I got to know the Night Stalker. So when the Night Stalker ults, and you're playing against the Night Stalker, you just do the Stiller on top of the Night Stalker, you just see all the his vision is just insane. And actually because of that, you can get some kills because of the NS vision, because he shows you his teammates, you know, around him. It's just not for me. I mean, it has to not work like that, in my opinion, humbly. But I'm not a Valve employee, so.
I mean, there are very different opinions about what is good for Dota, what is bad for Dota, what is healthy, what is not healthy. Me personally, for example, I was a big fan of facets, but I think we can stop talking in just a second because I believe the players are ready, so we're gonna give the word to our beautiful casters. Yeah.
All right, welcome back. Thank you so much, Steel Barco and Kawaii Sox filling in there, talking about the matchup and game number 1 done and dusted. As that was a fairly short show from playtime. Glyph wasn't really given many opportunities to get the lanes going, which was a bit of a surprise to us because we thought the lanes would be completely different, and then to actually get back into the game. A stellar performance from Abed, from Jabs. And saw the supports going all over the place. Easy job for Wits to have a, you could almost say, a full-slotted big Lone Druid bear. But we have to get back to that draft, Otomo.
Yes.
How do you let a Lone Druid go through in 23rd or 24th even? Last phase, you can't have that hero in the pool. Everyone else is banning it.
I've seen this before. A team gets very confident. They're like, we have figured out the Lone Druid. I've seen so many coaches do that, like Astana as well was one of them in EWC, where he let the Lone Druid through twice. And I mean, the draft, I'm not like pointing out any specific coach or player, but whoever's drafting thinks, I figured it out, boys. I've calculated, I've used all my brain cells. I know how to fix the Lone Druid. And then the Lone Druid comes up, destroys any hope that they have. And you go, well, who could have seen it coming? So Glyph, they say, hey, let's not let the Lone Druid through. We've learned our lesson at very, very high costs.
Indeed, a very high cost, as that means that playtime is now one step closer to finishing top 4. Glyph out of the tournament. Because the thing is, you pointed it out in the previous panel, that if you win this game, you secure at least 2 more series of Dota. Be it the finals or the 3rd place match. So if you lose here, it's your tournament run completely done. But with a win, you're going to get to play more Dotes, and that's what these guys love to do and they want to do. So Lone Druid is banned, Treant is banned, no Abed Invoker either for this game.
I mean, you also mentioned how the money, which, we have different opinions on discussing it, but the money does double. There is no ambiguity there. You go from 35k to 70, and of course have the 2 lifelines available to get 120,000 at minimum after that. Well, not at minimum, but potentially.
Yeah.
Playtime.
The more dosh, the better.
The more dosh, very, very good. More dosh is very nice. As playtime, they start with Earth Spirit, whereas Glyph, they take the Undying, feeling like despite what he had, it was in the first 5 minutes or so, when Glyph was doing well top lane, Undying was a factor of that. So they say, all right, let's try to replicate our success there.
Yeah, and I think it wasn't really down to the Undying how that game went in the end. And like there were so many different factors that came into play. So I'm happy with them picking it as a very strong hero. There's nothing wrong with it. Just go with what works. 1 or 2 changes, maybe in the way they play those lanes. And of course, with the Lone Druid ban, obviously, is going to help quite a lot. So, but the fact that Jabs was able to solo Black Hole the Alchemist, no, I think it was twice even, not even just once, but twice, kill him in the lane, in a lane where the Enigma was, he was crying. Level 2, just getting run over, getting hit by the stun. The Acid has the Tombstone next to him. You're getting slowed by zombies. There's no escape.
Yep. But this time, I mean, we haven't seen what Jabs is going to be playing just yet. And I like when you point out that it's not really that Undying's fault that they lost. It's kind of, when you ever play a pub
and your mid lane is like 0-17, and he goes, and you go, man, we lost. He goes, yes, we lost because our CM bought Glimmer instead of Force Staff. If you had got Force Staff, I would have only died 15 times. And you go, yes, that is
impeccable, impeccable logic.
It's like, yeah, it does come down to our CM getting Force instead of Glimmer. So it's not really, I wouldn't put it on Narmin. There was nothing he could have done once the game got as out of control as it did. Undying is just not that kind of playmaker. He helps you snowball, helps you in some of those even fights, but once the game he's behind, the hero really doesn't do too much. But
not sure if we're doing a ritual here or if we're struggling to stay awake. It is still quite early in the morning. Well, not super early in the morning. We're closing up on daytime. But I do want to touch upon the previous discussion. It doesn't matter if we win or lose. The most important thing is we find who's guilty. That's the game of Dota that we play.
I love it because I thought you were going to say something. She's like, it's only important that we have fun. Hooray! I'm like, no. If I'm losing, the finger's coming out. I don't know where it's pointing.
The finger pointing comes out always, and that's the most important part. We need to figure out who is guilty, and then we can move on. Then we're happy. We found a conclusion. On to the next game we go. But hey, we're gonna get the Darkseer into play. We need a lane partner for him, keeping that open. Also, the Abed Earth Spirit, which has been amazing so far. But I do want to point out one little thing. This might not necessarily be the Abed Earth Spirit. We got to cast a Jabs Earth Spirit in the groups, and that was a lot of fun to watch.
I've also seen Earth Spirit 4 in this tournament. I'm not sure if it was Schofield or not. It might have been Schofield yesterday who did pick it. So there is that, sure, well, let's call it flex potential. Personally, I feel like if he's not a core, the hero doesn't look very good. Give me a second here to make sure that it was, in fact, Earth Spirit support. I've seen it, but I wasn't sure who plays it, though.
Depends if they played it yesterday, because the only Earth Spirits for playtime have been Abed, and then that one game for Jabs, where they did lose the game, but Jabs was 13-7 and 18, had the highest net worth in his team from an offlane Earth Spirit. So I think we got to keep that open. Though they do pick up the Doom, so could be in this case that Jabs is going to be playing a Doom, unless Wits plays carry Doom. I have mixed opinions on carry Doom, but what do you think?
I like the carry Doom overall. To me, it's a bit slow, to be honest. He's like a Radiance before he even gets to farm much faster. But he's a strong laner at least. I'm okay with the carry Doom. Okay, Jetris comes out as a salt counter to the Darkseer. Can debuff, can remove both the Surge as well as the Iron Shell. Very much. And Elmisho, I love his Enchantress approach. Very much a greedy kind of guy who gets scaling. I've seen him go Moonshard and Hurricane Pike. Moonshard first item on Enchantress, and he goes like, I just want to whack him.
Though this is a pretty good pick to it in terms of the laning stage.
True.
That is if they decide to play it in the same lane, but Enchantress does struggle in the early levels.
It's all melee on Glyph. Something to pay attention to if you're playtime and you're up against an Earth Spirit. He loves all those melee heroes. Easier to get the Magnetize on everyone. Same
Imagine
thing with
if Schofield's like, let's go techies, because they have only melee heroes. They're going to clump up Schofield techies. I don't think that's going to be a thing, but Enigma would be another, but then we would lock in all our cores, and we're last phase picking a support. I mean, I guess you could do it, but we'll see.
Not a bad Enigma game. You can theoretically punch him if his black hole is in front of him. Like Tusk can blink and punch him from like from a distance. Not exactly a distance, but if the black hole is a bit away, he doesn't get sucked in. But very risky. And he is going to go for the Enigma.
There we go.
It's so good. It's such a good Enigma game.
It's such a good Enigma game, yeah. Already liking the playtime draft. So Glyph, at least they have a kill lane if they decide to put the Tusk as a 5 with the Shadow Fiend and play the Undying with the Darkseer, because they're already laning into an Enchantress. So I think it could be an idea to put the Undying there instead. What is a Darkseer Tusk really going to do versus an Ench? you can try to run at them, but you are going to have the enchant to play against. Or you could reinforce the Shadow Fiend's lane with the Tusk. Also, Undying Shadow Fiend, we know it's kind of a lane where Shadow Fiend is pretty untouchable, at least on paper, where the Undying is just like, well, you gotta get past me first.
I like your point, the second one that you made the most, which is that the Tusk should just go, leave the Darkseer by himself, and help out in other lanes. I think that is the best way that you can use Yokam in this situation. Because honestly, Darkseer can just go jungle if you absolutely have to. It shouldn't be too bad. You do see that there's going to be a carry Doom, Alpha Enigma, and mid Earth Spirit. Like, it's fine. Just leave the Doom. Either he's going to eat a creep, or it's going to be dispelled. There's two of them who can deal with Ion Shell so well. Just leave the lane and let Yokam